Back when you bought your Nokia 3360 phone in 1998, it was at the cutting edge of technology. 3 different ringtones, big, easy push plastic buttons, and it was available in black or grey. But Olivia, your 18-year-old daughter, says she's embarrassed to be seen out with you and your horrid old phone. It makes her look so uncool. You just have to get a new one if you want to be seen with her. Teenagers, eh? But you do of course love your daughter, and you must admit your phone does look a bit like a small shoebox with buttons on it. So you've decided to bite the bullet and buy a new phone. But you don't want to just wander into a store and pick up any old phone. First of all, you need to do some research. Your daughter Olivia told you that a company called Snaffle makes some pretty good phones. So you head on over to the Snaffle website and oh my goodness, their phones look and sound awesome. Take for example their MyPhone 8. Listen to this. Advanced camera that creates incredible clear pictures with unbelievable color. Wireless charging that's truly effortless. The most powerful and smartest chip ever in a smartphone. Performance controller provides the same great battery life. You don't know what all of the words mean, like what's a chip? But the list goes on and on. It has so many features, all described with wonderful positive adjectives like effortless, advanced, powerful, smartest, great, incredible, unbelievable. Just reading this makes you feel happy and young again. What's not to like? You reckon if you buy this MyPhone 8, you will never have to buy another phone again. It is so advanced and clever. There's such a huge list of positives, and there's not even one negative. You know what? Olivia will be begging to go out with you and your Snaffle MyPhone 8. You look at the list of features again, and yes, there's not one drawback or problem mentioned. Snaffle's MyPhone 8 must be a flawless work of engineering genius, and you have to have it now. So you call your daughter to tell her the good news. "Oh, Mum," she says, "you're such a dupe." You hear her tapping away on her smartphone. "I've just sent you a link to a phone reviews website. Take a look at that before you buy anything." So you fire up your tablet. Remember, your Nokia 3360 doesn't do email. And once you click on the link your daughter sent you, your heart sinks. It's true, the phone review website does list some of the advantages of Snaffle's MyPhone 8, like large storage for movies and photos, sleek and user-friendly design, good for those with smaller hands. Smaller hands? What, like children's hands? But it also lists a whole heap of negatives. No headphone jack, so you can't plug your headphones in without using an adapter. The battery needs recharging every 4 hours. As it's made of 99% glass, it's easily breakable. And the wireless charging mat costs an extra £150. And the worst part, it costs £1,000. £1,000! Who in their right mind would pay £1,000 for a mobile phone? You could buy a small car for that, or, I don't know, go on a cruise. Why wasn't the price listed clearly on Snaffle's website? You call your daughter straight back and tell her how disappointed you are. "Have you never heard of something called bias?" she asks. "Bias? Isn't that the name of an electric car by Toyota?" "That's a Prius," she corrects, making you feel like the world's stupidest mum. It turns out that your daughter has just completed a functional skills English course where they learn about a thing called bias. If you are biased, you are one-sided, only give one point of view, and you don't look at both sides of the picture. She goes on to tell you that you can recognize if a piece of writing or a website contains bias if it only uses positive adjectives, only talks about the positives, or is vague and lacks details. You go back to the Snaffle website to see if it is in fact biased. Does it only use positive adjectives? Yes. Does it only talk about the positives? Yes. Does it give details, or is it a little bit vague? Well, wireless charging that's truly effortless. Well, it doesn't really give details about how it's effortless. Great battery life. Well, that doesn't tell me how long the battery lasts for. And for that matter, what does unbelievable colour mean? I mean, it doesn't say anything about how many megapixels the camera is. So yes, you have to admit, it does look like the website is pretty biased. So why don't Snaffle tell me the whole story, you ask your daughter? You know, the good and the bad, so I can make an intelligent decision. I'd be pretty angry if I spent £1,000 on a phone and found out that the battery only lasts for 4 hours, or that I couldn't plug my headphones in. Olivia tells you that the company advertising the MyPhone 8, Snaffle, won't give you a balance of good and bad because they have a vested interest. Vested interest means that they want something to happen because it will give them an advantage. In this case, they want you to buy their phone because they want your money. It's hard for anybody who has a vested interest to tell you the whole story. Pretty much all adverts are biased, she says, because most advertisers are trying to sell you something. They have a vested interest. So it's pretty important to be aware of bias before you buy anything, you say. Otherwise, you could end up with something very different to what you thought you were getting. Ovs, your daughter replies, sounding bored. She continues, if you know that a piece of writing contains bias, you won't believe everything that it says. It's like being able to recognize fake news. And, she goes on, you'll look for another article or a review that gives positive and negatives so you can make an informed decision. Like the phone reviews website, it wasn't biased. It gave you both advantages and disadvantages of Snaffle's MyPhone 8. She's dead clever, my daughter, but unfortunately, she doesn't get it from me.